Welcome back, everybody. Been down here in the shop getting ready to do this crankshaft for about an hour, frigging with it. All kinds of things is wrong with it. Now, I got the magnafluxer out here, and as you can see, there's no real line of white powder there. Was concerned, I'll actually take that off. Was concerned about that line right there. And I'll tell you why I was concerned about it. I'm going to grind them. And I really thought that was a crack. This is dialed in within a 1/2 thousandths. This is dialed in within a 1/2 thousandths. This is about 2.5 thousandths off, which I don't like. I like it, you know, when you go off either the snout or the gear area, because this stuff here, you don't want it, you know, oscillating. So we're going to bring this to this, because this front seal always leaked on this, and it's probably why, because that was sitting there going 2 or 3 thousandths just fluttering away. But in the middle journal, with this stuff lined up, this middle journal right here, it's way out, and that's why I thought that might have been broke. And I'm still not 100% sold that it's not starting to crack. I'm going to grind it, and we may actually have to go to 30 to get rid of that. I don't know. This is out a lot. I'll bring you back here when I get the dial indicator up, and I'll show you. Okay, as you can see, that's on the number 8. Yeah, we got some glare issues here, but anyway, it's on the 8 thousandths. I don't know how you want to look at it. Straight down, I guess. And of course, that's towards the positive, so it's actually flexed down. And as we go up to the top, right there, it's back to the 0, headed towards the negative. So this crank has a belly in it like that. And technically, you would think if that was a crack, this would be opened up and it would actually be high on this side. Side to side, I think it's pretty close. We'll put that to 0 there on the side. We'll see what the other side is. Yeah, it's dead on. So it's an up and down issue. And you usually don't find that unless you've lost a rod bearing or something. You know, something that's really pounded it. Now, whether or not those bearings were loose enough that over time, you know, they were hammering a little bit, I don't know. I can't believe that they would have been. But anyway, we're out that much. And I'm going to, if this was bent this way, to where you had to pull this back, I would go in this radius on the bottom, and I would strike that radius with a radius tool on both sides, probably 4 or 5 good smacks, and it would probably take 5 thousandths out of that, which would bring it back within a couple thousandths of being right on the money. And I've done it to a lot of cranks, but this is out here on this thin area, and I don't think you're going to have much success drawing it back on that top. There's not enough meat, not enough strength there to pull it. Well, everybody, I got this 3/64 radius gauge. Don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but it fits in good. So now I got to go, what I'm going to do, okay, because you can't hit out here, but you can hit right here. And that will expand that a little bit. And when that expands that, it'll try to open it up from here to here, which will bring this up, which is what I need to do. I'm going to do it on this side over here, 3 hits. I'm going to do it on this side, 3 hits. And the problem is right now is I am in the process. Get you set there. You know, I got to take this over and make this match this 3/64 radius gauge, which I'm way off. It's probably more like almost an 1/8 inch radius right now. So I got to go do some work on this. I'll be back. Well, guys, I cheated you. Cut this block. Fits in underneath there nice and snug. And I went with that chisel that I just ground. And it matched up with that radius gauge that was in there. Small hammer, but hard hits. I did 3 hits there. I did 3 hits right there. And that should be down below what I'm going to grind out. So I should be able to do the mains first. It may spring back when I'm grinding here, maybe, you know, 1/1000th or something. But if I'm only 1/1000th off when I get done, I'm going to do the mains first. But I wanted to show you the difference here. After 6 hits, I did 3 on this side, 3 on this side. And it's pretty amazing what a hammer hit will do. We'll put that down there on the 0. And we're off 2/1000ths. And I will not chase that 2/1000ths. You know, a guy could try to get it to 0, but like I say, as you grind stuff's going to move. But that's how I've been taught to straighten out a crank. Seems a little rough and stuff, but a lot of the guys that weld up, you know, top fuel dragster cranks when they, you know, burn stuff up and whatnot, they go and they straighten them. They grind for a little ways. They adjust, you know. Of course, they would have a little nicer chisel grind on probably than what I had. And they're also using steel cranks. I got a cast crank in here. And I don't know if this is actually a cast steel or cast iron. I'm assuming it's probably a cast iron crank. But I don't know. It looks to me like it was probably cast and then... Yeah, I'm not really sure. That could have been done in a die. This could be steel. Probably is a steel crank. But anyway, she adjusted all right. We're going to grind this now and see if this... I've kind of determined, I think, that this is just a water mark from moisture from setting all those years. I think it went down to the edge of the bearing and dripped there. Just condensation. And it gave me that witness mark from the etching. Electrolysis, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I'll get this thing ready to go here in a few minutes. I'll bring you back. So, of course, after I sprung this middle, put it back what I thought was close to 0, a couple 3/1000ths off, you know, I had everything set up out here. Well, since it's so far out from the jaws, of course, this was off 2/1000ths. This one was off about 1/1000th. So these are both dialed into 0 now. And I couldn't believe how close this was when I went back to it. I mean, we're talking 0.5 just, and that's just dumb luck, you know. If I'd have had a heavier hammer, I'd have been the other way. And that's a little bit of having done it before. I kind of had an idea how hard I was going to have to hit it, but I got real lucky. I'm not going to take the luck out of it because that's dumb luck. I don't know. Maybe I will do the rods first. I'll bring it back. I guess I'll jack it up. And we'll do them rods. We'll see how bad it screws it up when we come back. It'll be an interesting education thing. I'll bring it back in a little bit. Okay, everybody. As you saw, we got lucky with this. The mains are on. But where we hit in here, and we're going to be grinding some of that material away, only about 0.5 on this edge, there's a pretty good chance you might even be able to see the hit marks after we get done. I'm almost positive you'll be able to, because we're only going 0.10, which is 0.5 per side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead, I'm going to jack these up, and we'll run our weights down, get this thing balanced out, and I'm going to do all the rod journals first. And what that'll do is, as we're doing it, if this wants to move 1/1000th or 2 out of line, which right now it's within 0.5, so we'll know real quick, I mean, when we come down, if it in fact tried to move on us. And of course, as you're going, the last few thousandths you make on these, if it's moved, it will straighten these journals out on their own. And then we'll just go ahead and grind on that. Because when we grind on this, it shouldn't change anything because there's no pressure points in it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the rods first. Well, I'll run you through what I did here. I loosened up this jaw here, the chuck, and loosened it up about 1/2 of an inch. And then I started coming up a 1/2 inch on that one, 1/2 inch on this one. And I got up until, you know, I was at 4. And the mains, wherever it sat, this one was 1/1000 over. This one here was set on 5. So whatever they set at, when you get them in originally, you set them at the same spot again. And we've got that all done. We've got the weights dialed in. They're at 3 1/8 instead of 4. This is supposed to be a 4-inch. Well, it is a 4-inch stroke. But the weights, if you put them all the way down to 4-inch, would be way too heavy for this light crank. So, because this is, you know, just a baby crank. So anyway, I had to use these to rock it into phase. It was out about 10 thousandths. And this is where we ended up. Just, you know, I can move that just by grabbing this and, you know, so some of that's me just hussing on it. But yeah, it's within 1/2 thousandths or so. I'm going to call it a win. So we'll put them back in. We'll get stuff fired up, get the wheel over, bring it in. And I got to set the gauge up here because this gauge is set for, I don't remember what we did last. Oh, it would have been that Ford. Yeah. So anyway, I'll bring it back in a few. Okay, we got this journal here done. Came out real good. It didn't start to do any wonky stuff, so I don't think it's going to straighten or get bent again. I think it's going to hold its position. So I got this one done. I'm 1/10 over the target size, and I'm going to, just with a vanillizing cloth, holding it by hand, just, we'll take probably 1/10 off of it. So we'll be right at the high side. Just let you know what I'm doing. This right here moves the actual table back and forth. Can't move it much because I'm sitting in there close, but that moves the table. This here moves the wheel in and out. This is your rapid, which I can go backwards with it. And then when you're actually grinding, you're moving the back one like that. You won't be able to see me do that because it's all off camera, but we're gonna go in. I've got this all set for zeroed. I didn't want to film when I was trying to get everything set because it's just a pain in the butt. But I got everything all zeroed out now. We'll do a journal together so you can see how it works. Most of you know how a crank grinder works, and some of you may not, but I guess I'm gonna miss, yeah. So anyway, we'll get stuff moving here. Get that locked in. Get this over close to the edge. Got quite a ways to go here. I can't actually see. I need a milk crate. I don't have one up here, so it takes me a while to get in. But if I put the water onto it, I can hear it usually. It'll start to make a sizzling noise when I'm getting close. You may not be able to hear it, but yeah, I can hear that water start to change its tone. That means I'm getting real close. Yeah, I'm there already. So, let's bring this gauge down. And we'll see what kind of wonky stuff it's going to do. Go over to the radius, just bump it. And I've got just 8 thousandths to take off. And normally you would run the steady rest over here, but I'm thinking it's going to grind all right. I'll know here within a couple thousandths whether or not it's going to grind all right. And it's coming right out, so it's going to grind all right. And what I'll do is I'll hit 5 thousandths, I'll do a sweep across. Then I'll come back. I'll probably do 3 sweeps, which takes a while. But hey, I'm at 4 actually. I can actually move this right out of the way while I go over and back. Okay. Now we'll put this down on this side. Yeah, we're at 3,000, so we can creep it in real slow, because what you're trying to do is make sure that whatever grease is in the threads and stuff, you know, you're not preloading stuff, and then as you're sweeping across, it's undercutting. So we'll go real slow here. What we're aiming for is for that zero to be, you notice it bobs a little bit. That's something you can't detect with the mics. All crankshaft grinders do it that I know of. Every one of them I've ever ran did. And anyway, we just keep going ever so gently until we hit that zero. Getting pretty close. I'm going wicked slow, so I know it's a little boring, but that's starting to hit the zero. So what I'll do is I'll start sweeping here in just a second. That's at the magic spot right there. So now we'll start going across. Get that on the other side of that oil hole. As you can see, it's getting, you know, maybe a couple tenths under, but it's real close. I actually like plunge grinding better, but my vanillizing belt isn't working right. All my belts are old and the glue is coming off on the tape. So we'll get over here till that just bumps and back it off. Right there. Back that up so it's not cutting. Move the water out of the way. Oh, I don't know if we can get that to show or not on that. Whoop, the damn screen went blank. Come on. But anyway, it's right on 20 where it belongs. And it is how much under? Yeah, it's less than a tenth. It's basically right on. So that's good. So we've got all of our stuff set. We can, just for the fun of it, do both sides. Come on. Yeah, boy, that is right there. Yeah, that's within a tenth or so. I'm going to call that on the money. So now we'll take all these guards off, and from one end to the other I will move this, but where they're close like that I didn't have to. But yeah, we'll put this steady rest up on the first one. We'll I'm actually going to back that off there, get that back out of the way, and I'm going to go eat lunch, and then I'll be back after lunch to finish it. I probably won't film doing the other two journals, but I actually will take this top steady rest off, and I can turn the bottom one down. And what happens is these are clutches, and this is a pin, so this should let's see, we'll shut that right off, I guess. But yeah, we'll move a journal over here and we'll turn it towards us. That way all you do is unlock this pin, and then this whole assembly will rotate until you get to 180. You drop your pin in at 180, lock them both up, and now I've turned these down. They should be on 0. Whether or not they are, I don't know. We'll find out real quick. Oh, let's see, get my gauge out here. Got to move it off to the side a little bit because the oil holes will frig us up here. Yeah, got to move it about 1/8 of an inch. There we go. Okay, so boy, this is them center ones was dead nuts. So we got to turn this. That would make it that this side here wouldn't be. But anyway, you'll notice that that's like on 6 or 7 thousandths. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. You grab these two knobs and you can bring them over, and that lines up the few thousandths back here. Yeah, it swings that by this little mechanism down under. So anyway, I'm gonna have to do some adjusting. I'm not gonna change the stroke because the stroke is what it is. You know, if this stroke is off on this journal, which you got to get away from that oil hole there. It's hard to read. Set that to 0. Yeah, you got a bitch. That's off 8 thousandths on stroke. Which kind of stinks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some fudging now. I'll have to drop it down 4 thousandths. Which will mean these will either have a longer stroke or a shorter stroke. Which way are we off here? That's positive. Yeah. So we'll Yeah, which way is that going? Well, that's negative, so it's up too high. Which means the stroke is going to be a little short by 4,000 when we get done. And whatever I do this side down over here, you know, if I bring this one here down 4,000ths, I got to bring this one here down 4,000ths, because you got to bring everything down parallel. But we'll do these individual, and the stroke may be off on them a couple thousandths, but this I think all goes back to when it was done the original time. I don't know what in the world happened to this crank, but it's frigged up. But we're gonna make it so it'll work. We'll get these main rods done. I'll bring it back later. So I just thought it was kind of interesting. This one here, I had to jack that 4,000ths back up. So this one's the exact same stroke as the other three. This one here is off. I don't know if this one here, when they originally ground it, was wore bad and they couldn't get it on the center. I don't know what happened here, but anyway, we're off 4,000ths. Came out real close. We're within about 3/4 on this one. I'm not going to chase it any closer. And yeah, we can lock this in. I'll give you a measurement here real quick. So this here is hitting on 9/10. So we're a 1/10 of a thousandths under 20, which is, you know, only a 1/10 from being right perfect. The other ones are hitting right on. So we're going to call it good on M3. I'm actually not even going to take a belt to these. These things are so smooth. They're smoother than the original ones. That thing isn't very aggressive. It should be sharpened so that it will have more of a sharpness to it. It's ground a lot of cranks, and it's kind of, you know, grinding smooth now, almost like polishing it. So yeah, so we'll get this next one done. I'm not going to film it, but because you've seen one of them done, and we'll set the mains in a minute. Okay, so we're only 2/1000ths from where we need to be. We're going to go down. We'll go about 1/4 of a thou under, because that seems to be the sweet spot. My gauge isn't set exactly perfect, I guess is what I'm getting at. But we're just going to go in here a little bit. Almost there. We'll call it right there. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so we're where we want to be there. Get that out of the way. I'm going to loosen up the steady rest. Move it over here just a skosh. Just snug back up. I got you guys in the way here, but I think I can get this done. We'll get back over here onto the other side. Get that out of the way so I can see. Right there. Now we'll swing this down onto this side, and then we won't have to sweep. Sweeping is a pain in the butt. A lot easier to just plunge grind. But sometimes if your cranks aren't behaving real well, when you plunge grind, you end up with a line. These ones here seem to be grinding real good, so. Yeah, get that off. Walking her down pretty good. I've had people that I tried to teach how to run a crankshaft grinder, and they just go crazy trying to get that needle to stop moving, and you always get some flax. I didn't get any on the #1 cylinder, but the rest of it, you know, they're like a piece of spaghetti. There's always a little bit of movement. Right about there. Looks pretty sweet. There. Put that out there. Back that right back. We will take a look, see what we got. got to step around the tripod here, so it's a little awkward. But that's showing a couple tenths over. I better do that again. Huh. It still shows a little over. 2 tenths over. I might have to go back in and take another couple tenths off. That one's dead on. That one's dead on. These are all right on the money. Huh. Yeah. I'd have to, oh, let's see here. Get a few of these out of the way here. Should have let that dwell maybe another one trip around. It's 1/10 over on this side. It's 2/10 over on this side. So there's 1/10 of a thou. I'm going to probably polish it instead of coming back in. I think I can get 1/10 off that real quick. So, yeah, we're going to call that good on the rods. Okay, since we straightened the crank out, I'm getting the exact same reading here as I am here, because it doesn't have the ramp like it did before. I've got it zeroed down here. Now let's see what that middle is going to do. I haven't checked it yet. We're going to find out together. Well, it's off at least 1 thou. No, it ain't off 1 thousandths. Between 1/2 and 3/4. I'm going to call that a win. Got extremely lucky on that. A lot of times when you grind the journals where you smack them, a lot of times it and you can still see those little bruises. Not real bad. You can see them where I hit it right in there. And there's a few little marks over here. Not bad. You know, that won't cause a problem. That chisel had a radius on it, so it's not like you put a sharp edge in there. It's the best way to do it. If you try to spring them, you know, you're trying to bend everything, and it'll try to bend here, and a lot of times you're not bent right here. A lot of times you're bent elsewhere. So anyway, we're going to call that a win. I'm going to start grinding. I'll bring you back in a little bit. Well, this is the last pass on the front main. So, this showing just a little over 9 thousandths to take off. But that doesn't come down 100%. Yeah, we actually got 9.5 to take off. But the way the geometry is, it doesn't always read exact. That's why you can't set it from the start. You know, you have to set it what you think it's going to be, go about 5 thousandths, take a measurement, do an adjustment, and usually I do my last adjustment at 3 thousandths. And usually from there on it doesn't vary enough to mount to anything. Just a couple of tenths, and well, you know, the thousandths is one thing. A couple tenths on this is, I'm not worried about it. We are just about to 0. 0.5 thousandths to go. We'll let it grind out, not advance anymore. There she is, right there. So that should be, as far as all things considered, should be on the money. Five is what we're looking for. And we'll see what the tenths are. No tenths, it's on the 0. So, yeah, we're dead on. Right where we want to be. Now we can get stuff stood up here so we don't have to back that up quite this far. Back up a little bit here and we'll crank her down. Beautiful. And we'll take some of this hardware off. Beautiful. I like to start about a 30-40 thousandths. Then we'll creep in on it. I'm going to stop them 2.5 thousandths. I'm going to sweep towards the middle because I got about 1/4 inch that I can't get with 2 plunge grinds. So I'll walk the stone to the left. Yeah, we'll go from right there, we'll feed it in a little bit and then we'll walk it back. This is what takes the time. If I had a little wider stone, I'd have it made, but I don't have a, well actually I do have a stone down there that's about 1/4 inch wider, would be right on the money, but it's got about a, well I think I did a 4236 Perkins or something like that with it, that had a real big radius, and I can't bring myself to chew off 1/4 inch of stone, you know, just to be able to use it on a gas engine. Water down a little bit. There we go. Okay, she's going to flatten out on 0 and I'll walk it back across. Still looking good. Still within 1/10 or 2. Back that up just a skosh. Yeah, I'm still going to have to walk it back or else I'll get my radius involved. You notice I didn't bump these sides much. These have already been ground real hard by whoever did it before. And it had plenty of end play. like a little more than I'd like to have, so bump it like that. Not grind any off. I don't know if you're gonna get any water on you, but you can just see that the line where I ground before, yeah, you can see it there. You see how it's real close to the radius on the edge of the stone? That's why I'm gonna have to sweep left, because if you don't, you might have a bit of radius coming up there in the middle of the journal, which you can't have. Well, that's 1,000 left. We're going to let this work off real slow, because I got to do a sweep and I don't want it still creeping while I'm sweeping. See what she does. 1,000 left. I can still see spack. That means it's still just barely grazing it. Well, I'd like to take another, maybe that much. There she goes, starting to get to zero now. Yeah, we'll sweep her sideways. Yeah, you can see what's taking that radius off. Beautiful. Oh, let's check this thing out. Went down about a tenth or two, but below what I wanted at the end. But yeah, that's right on. It's showing right on. Yeah, it's right on. So we're gonna call it a win. Can't feel any steps. So yeah, shut some stuff off here. We'll get the girder off. Get some peace and quiet here, and then we can look things over. Yeah, so pretty nice job. Very smooth. Yeah, the only thing that's got a mark is that, and that's, you know, just from that phenolic stuff running around. Once you get it taken off and wiped, you won't see it. So yeah, came out real nice. Just gonna have to be washed. I'll make sure I got nothing in the parts washer when I do it, so I won't scratch it with anything else. And I'll get my 22 caliber rifle cleaner out, and I'll go down through all them oil galleys. That's, you know, galleys are something that people overlook, and just blowing air through them doesn't do it. You got to scrub them, get them clean. So yeah, I'm going to take this thing out. It's just a normal chock, nothing there to show. And the crankshaft's done. We ended up 20 on the mains and 30 on the rods. And that place that looked like a crack, I actually haven't looked it over. Hang on, I'll bring you back here. We'll move this steady rest and we will see what we got. Yeah, so I don't know how this is gonna focus, but that side over there where the problem was is no more. You know, that was just a very, very superficial issue. So, yeah, I'm real steady, ain't I? Make you seasick. Yeah, the only thing that you can still see a little bit is them marks where I struck it with a radius tool. Also known as a cold chisel, but anyway, yeah, it was rounded over, so it was a radius tool. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you might have learned something. That's what the idea is, but you know, I'm not that great of a teacher. I should have filmed a little more today. I wished I'd have filmed me hitting them radiuses, but that's always one of those things that when you do it, you don't even want anybody watching. It's brutal to take a sledgehammer or a hammer to a crankshaft, but that's how you do it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you on the next one. And yeah, I got a lot of cleaning to do, especially on the block. Yeah, hit the like button if you liked it, and don't hesitate to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.